In this broadcast, what I wanted to talk about was overcoming that excuse that you hear all the time, and maybe sometimes you say, which is, I don't have any time, right? And I hear this a lot, and if you've ever tried to build any kind of business, network marketing business, MLM, BizOp, home business opportunity, anything, you've heard people say, I don't have the time. And you may have even said it at some point about something, because people say it about a lot of things. Well, I don't have time to exercise. Well, I don't have time to take a class. I don't have time to learn another language. I don't have time to learn how to change my diet. I don't have time to cook. People say, I don't have time a lot. I hear it regularly. But as you saw the title of this broadcast, Overcoming That Lame Excuse, that's exactly what it is. It's an excuse. And I'll tell you why. Because when something is important enough to someone, they will find a way. You know, there's this expression that goes, if a guy really wants to see a girl, he'll make it happen. No matter what. He'll call, he'll show up, he'll surprise her, he'll send stuff. And if she doesn't hear from him, if he doesn't show up, he doesn't want to see her, right? It's really that simple. But when someone wants to make something happen, they will make it happen. I'm going to give you a perfect example. And here's how you can overcome that excuse, because a lot of people share that excuse of, oh, I don't have any time. Well, let's say, for example, I'll give you my perfect example, okay? I have my own practice. I'm married, I have 2 kids, so I have a house, a family, I have a business that I have to run. I also have a home-based business. But guess what? Several years ago, I started wanting to work out all the time. I wanted to start doing P90X, I wanted to start doing Tough Mudders and mud runs and some crazy stuff. And my natural instinct, my immediate jerk reaction was, well, I don't have time for all that stuff. But what I would say to people when they give me that I don't have time answer is, how long do you spend on Facebook every day? How much TV do you watch every day? How long do you spend eating meals every day? How long do you sleep every day? Most people only work 8 hours a day. That leaves 16 hours unattended, right? You want to allow an hour for commuting, fine. But where does that all that other time go? Even if they're sleeping for 8 hours a night, there's 8 more hours that they have. So that's great, Frank. You know, some people don't watch TV, some people don't spend time on Facebook. Guess what that does is it frees up more time for you. So when someone says to you, I don't have any time, you can ask them those questions. Well, how long are you on Facebook every day? How much TV are you watching? How much time are you spending at meals? How much time are you sleeping? Because guess what? When I wanted to start working out, when I wanted to start doing P90X and training for these Tough Mudders and mud runs and stuff like that, I started sleeping less. I started getting up earlier. I started going to bed later. Why? Because when something's important, you don't find the time, you make the time. Because when it matters to you, you figure out how to get it done. You overcome obstacles. Because that, I don't have enough time, I don't have any time, is an excuse. What that means is it doesn't matter to them enough to figure out how they can do it. So if you're showing someone your business opportunity and they say, I don't have the time, it's an excuse. Yes, sleep is important for training. I agree with you. Every single body needs a different amount of sleep. I agree with you. But I'm not saying sleep is not important. I'm saying you can cut down on the amount of sleep you're getting. Even if it's 30 to 60 minutes, you can accomplish a lot in that time. People use that as an excuse. I don't have any time. And it is an excuse when they say that, because if they really get excited about something, if it really matters to them, if they really want to make it happen, they'll figure out a way. Stay up later. Get up earlier, cut other things out of your life. Figure out how much time you spend on Facebook and eliminate that. How much TV time you spend every day. Eliminate that. Yeah, an hour or 2, exactly. You can cut down a certain amount of time every day and start using it more effectively. If it matters, you will. And when I started working out in the morning, all I did was, I didn't change anything else in my schedule. All I did was I started getting up earlier so I could work out. So I added something to my schedule that was important to me. I didn't cut away from anything else that mattered to me. I didn't take away from family time. I didn't take away from business time or anything else. I added time by getting up a little bit earlier. And guess what? When I don't have everything done over the course of the day, I can stay up a little bit later. It's really just a matter of how important is it to you or to them. Because I work full days too. I get it. People, they get up early, they take care of their kids, they send them off to school, they go to work, they work hard all day, they come home in a commute, they have to make dinner or eat dinner, spend quality time with family, and all of a sudden it's 8, 9 o'clock at night, they're exhausted. And they don't want to do anything else. But you know what? You have that time to do something else. again, it's all about how important is it to you. What happens is people lose focus of their goal, their reason. Now I'm talking to people who don't use their time effectively. The people that use I don't have time as an excuse are using it as an excuse. So there's two ways to approach it. I usually approach people by asking them, A, is this important to you? Like, are you serious about this? Does it matter to you? Because I get to their goals. I get to find out why they want to do something. So I ask them, is this really important to you? Does it matter to you? Yeah, if they don't have good goals, it's not important enough to them. They have to have a clear goal in sight. Because like I said on a broadcast the other day, what we see when we obstacles are what we see when we take our eyes off of our goals. But if you don't have a goal, you're just kind of like driving aimlessly. I always use, GPS has kind of ruined this analogy, but if you get in the car and you drive from one side of the country to the other without a map and without GPS, you're never going to get where you're going because you don't know how to get there. You don't know where you're going, you don't know how to get there. Vague goals, exactly. Non-specific goals are vague goals, which means your subconscious isn't going to help you make that happen. You have to have powerful goals, and they have to overcome that lame-ass excuse of, I don't have time. All that means, translation, is this isn't important enough to me to figure out how I can make this work. Because there's a difference between objections and excuses. So you can overcome objections. Excuses are a way to get out. But you can still try to overcome them. Like I said, the first question I ask is this really important to you? You said you wanted to make this much money. You said you wanted to quit your job, fire your boss, retire your spouse, travel more, work less. Is that important to you? How important is it to you? Because if it's important enough, we can move on to step 2, which is let's find out how we can make this work for you. But if they can't get past step 1, if it's not important enough to them, if they're not willing to do anything different, well, then they're going to keep getting what they've been getting, right? There's nothing you can do about that. You can't make people want it. You can't want it for them. If I've tried, you've probably tried. Sometimes you convince someone to get started, and once you convince someone to do something, you have to always convince them to do the next thing. You're always convincing them to keep doing stuff. And that's no good. You want somebody that's motivated and a self-starter. And when people say to you, I don't have time, that's not a motivated self-starter. That's somebody who doesn't have enough ambition to take it upon themselves to do what they need to do. So when somebody says, I don't have enough time, ask them those questions. Ask them, is it important to them? Ask them how much time they spend watching TV. How much time do they spend on Facebook? How much time do they spend eating, sleeping? Figure out how they can make it work. And if it's not important enough to them, they're not going to do it. But you can add hours to your day without cutting into what's important to you during that time. Sleep a little less, stay up a little later, get rid of Facebook, turn off the TV. That's the hardest one for people, is turning off the TV. Somebody else posted, I'm sorry, I forget who said it before. Somebody said I don't have TV. I don't watch TV either. Rarely. I mean, a little bit here and there for entertainment because, you know what, we still have to enjoy life. But TV is a waste of money, and guess what? It doesn't pay you for watching it. I'd rather live my own life than watch somebody else live theirs. So I don't watch very much TV. So that's a huge time suck that a lot of, they come home at work, they plop down on the couch, they turn on the TV, and poof, 2 hours are gone like that. So when they say, I don't have any time, that's why. Because they have filled up their day with ways to suck or waste their time, and they don't want to give up those things because they enjoy them. So that's what I'm saying when I say it's not important enough to them. You got to get to their why, you got to help them figure out their goals to let them know that changing their activities, changing their schedule in order to allow time to do what matters is the only way they're going to achieve those goals. And if they're not willing to do that, there's only so much you can do. You got to walk away after a while. Like I said, convincing people does not work. So that's how I address it when people say, I don't have any time. Because it's an excuse. It really is. Sometimes they're making a legitimate objection, like, oh my God, how can I make this work? And you can help them. But if they say, no, I don't have time for that. I don't even waste my time trying to help them figure it out, because clearly they're just they're just trying to say no. And I'm sure you've dealt with people who are just waiting. These are the people that ask you question after question after question because they're just looking for a way to say no. They're waiting for you to say something they can object to and say, oh, and then they're out. So time is just one excuse. And I just wanted to address that today because a lot of people say, I don't have any time. And again, it's just because it's not important enough to them. It doesn't matter enough to them. Hopefully that's not the case for you. So I just wanted to shoot this quick broadcast. I might even save this and put it into a blog post because I think it's important. People don't understand how to overcome objections, and they don't know the difference between an excuse and an objection. And there's only so much you can do with an excuse, but if somebody has a legitimate objection, you can help them overcome it. So that's it. That's all I wanted to share. If you got some value from this, throw some hearts my way. If you have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and throw them up right now. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you taking the time to stick around and comment and share some hearts. So thank you for that. So once again, my name is Dr. Steve. If you want to follow me on, if you want to follow my blog, it's yourprescriptionforsuccess.com. You can check it out. And of course, I'm on Facebook and Twitter and everywhere else on social media. So you can find me there. Otherwise, thanks again for watching. I really appreciate you. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for the love. Yes, thank you. Appreciate the comments. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.